and 1073 of the Constitution to make communication officers at all levels of the party elected from the polling station, electoral area, constituency, regional, and at the national level. At the national level, the communication officer shall be designated the Director of Communications.
Mr. Chairman, the appointment of communication officers has, in many instances, been fraught with a lot of challenges occasioned by perceptions of favoritism and lack of candor. Making the positions elective will afford the party delegate opportunity to select persons that they think can best communicate for the party. For the avoidance of doubt, the deputy directors of communications shall remain appointed. Respectfully submitted, Chairman.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 10. Amend Articles 710 and 97 of the Constitution to prevent party officers who get appointed into government from continuing to hold their offices.
Justification. Party officers who are appointed into government should not be allowed to hold dual positions. So long as they have accepted the appointment to serve in government, it is recommended that they focus on their mandate in government and give opportunity for other equally competent party members to occupy their positions in the party. It is also in line with the provisions in Clause 10 of Article 7 and Clause 7 of Article 9, which are intended to ensure that government appointees do not hold constituency, regional, and national executive offices. Chairman, respectfully submitted.
Delegates, those in favor of motion number 10, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 11. Amend Articles 726 and 924 of the Constitution to provide that any vacancy that may occur for whatever reason in the case of the constituency secretary and regional secretary shall automatically be filled by the deputy constituency and deputy regional secretary.
Chairman, the recommendation is as follows. The deputy constituency and deputy regional secretaries, just like the substantive constituency and regional secretaries, are also elected by the same delegates at the same conference. The deputy secretaries should be able to occupy the positions of the substantive secretaries in the absence of the latter. Respectfully submitted.
Delegates, those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 12. Amend Article 727 of the Constitution to give voting rights to national and regional officers at the constituency delegates conference at the constituency they hail from.
Chairman, the amendment strengthens the connections between these officers and the respective constituencies they hail from, where they may also serve as patrons and source of logistical support. This amendment is also geared towards the proposed limited expansion of the Electoral College, pending the one-man, one-vote system.
Delegates in favor of motion number 12, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 13. Our respected and distinguished delegates, with great respect, shall we have some calm so that we carry out this exercise diligently and faithfully. Thank you. Motion number 13. Amend Article 727, 925, and 10(2) of the Constitution to provide that the party shall hold constituency, regional, and national delegates conferences every 2 years, that is biennially, instead of annually.
Chairman, this amendment looks at holding timely but necessary conferences across all levels of the party. There shall also be sufficient time to hold other equally important conferences within the period before the biennial conference. Where it becomes necessary, an extraordinary delegates conference may be called. Respectfully submitted.
Delegates in favor of motion number 13, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 14. Amend Article 727B of the Constitution to give voting rights to the electoral area executives at the constituency biennial delegates conference.
Chairman, currently, electoral area coordinators and all polling station executives have voting rights at constituency delegate conferences. The proposed electoral area executives, made up of the electoral area coordinator, to be now called electoral area chairperson, and 4 other executives, should also have voting rights at the constituency delegates conference. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor of motion just ably recommended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 15. Amend Articles 729 and 927 of the Constitution to allow constituency and regional secretaries to present reports on the state of the party at the constituency and regional delegates conference with the prior approval of the constituency and regional executive committee, as the case may be.
Recommendation. Constituency and regional secretaries are the administrative heads of the constituency and regional secretariats of the party, and it is appropriate that they present a report on the state of the party to the constituency and regional party, respectively, to the delegates conference, with prior approval of the constituency and regional executive committee, as the case may be.
Those in favor of motion number 15, say aye. Those in favor, against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 16. Amend Articles 729 and 927 of the Constitution to require the statement of accounts to be presented by the constituency and regional treasurers at the Constituency and Regional Delegates Conference to have received prior approval of the Constituency and Regional Executive Committee, as the case may be.
This amendment allows the Constituency and Regional Executive Committees to scrutinize and give a stamp of approval to the statements before they are presented at the Delegates Conference. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor, delegates, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 17. Amend Article 7.
No, 17. Motion 17.
Delegates, I know you have your booklet.
It shows they've read it.
And you have also read it.
Yes.
So permit me to also read it, then you can respond. Thank you very much. Motion number 17. Amend Article 730 of the Constitution to provide that the Regional Executive Committee shall appoint persons other than polling station, electoral area, and constituency officers to supervise polling station and electoral area elections. Delegates in favor, say recommendation, sorry.
Dear delegates, please hear the recommendations. The recommendation is that constituencies are directly involved in the compilation of the album for organizing polling station and constituency elections. And therefore, it may be prudent that supervision of these elections be taken to the regional level to absolve it from any conflicting interest. Chairman.
My fellow delegates, those in favor of this motion, say aye. Those against, say nay.
The nays have it.
Yeah. That is the beauty of our democracy. This time, the nays have it. So motion number 17 has suffered a knockdown. Motion number 18. Amend Article 8 of the Constitution to specifically provide that the external branches shall have 3 representatives on the National Executive Committee and 5 representatives on the National Council.
Chairman, the party constitution under Article 8.5 grants the external branches representation at the National Executive and the National Council, but does not indicate the number of representatives they should appoint to serve on these bodies. This amendment brings clarity to the number of representatives the external branches shall have on the National Executive Committee and National Council. Respectfully submitted, Chairman.
Those in favor of motion number 18, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes once again have it. Motion number 19. Amend Articles 8 and 13, 11 of the Constitution to specifically provide that all former and current executives of the external branches shall have voting rights at the presidential primaries.
Chairman, the amendment seeks to extend the Electoral College for the presidential primaries to promote inclusivity and broader participation. This is in line with the proposed limited expansion.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion 20. Amend Articles 8 and 10(2)(f) of the Constitution to specifically provide that all current executives of the external branches shall have voting rights at the National Delegates Conference.
Previously, Chairman, only 12 executives of the external branches were allowed to vote at the National Delegates Conference. This amendment allows all of them to vote, promotes inclusivity and broader participation. The amendment is also in line with the proposed limited expansion.
Those in favor of motion number 20, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Number 21, amend Article 9 of the Constitution to include Regional Electoral Affairs Officer, Regional Research Officer. At this stage, note the decoupling of the two. Regional Legal Officer, Regional PWD Coordinator, and the Special Duties Officer as part of the Regional Executive Committee.
Chairman, this is in line with the proposed limited expansion of the Regional Executive Committee.
PWD, I explained early on, is persons with disability. Those in favor, delegates, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 22, amend Article 9(1) of the Constitution to expand the composition of the Regional Executive Committee members to include constituency secretaries.
Constituency secretaries are responsible for all administrative matters at the constituency level, and it is only proper that they are a part of the regional executive committees. Chairman, this is highly recommended.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Number 23 is a new provision, Article 9(1). Amend the Constitution by inserting a new provision to create a regional steering committee composed of the regional officers, chairman of the Regional Council of Elders, and regional parliamentary caucus chair.
The proposed amendment aligns with what pertains at the national level, where we have a national steering committee, which is the body in charge of the day-to-day administration of the party at the national level. The regional steering committee shall also be responsible for the day-to-day administration of the party at the regional level. The regional steering committee system shall facilitate decision-making at the regional level. Respectfully submitted.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 24, amend Articles 9, 10(2), and 13 of the Constitution to grant voting rights to the regional and national TESCON coordinators and the TESCON president from each recognized tertiary institution in the country at the regional and national delegates conference, respectively.
Chairman, the regional TESCON coordinators are in charge of coordinating all the activities of TESCON in the various tertiary institutions within the region. It is only proper to grant them voting rights at conference, just like the executives whose activities they coordinate. The same principle applies to the national TESCON coordinators. The specificity on the TESCON president, and not just any representative of TESCON, avoids the usual challenge with validation of the representative from TESCON. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. 25. Amend Article 10(2) and 13(11) of the Constitution to grant voting rights to the TESCON president. The TESCON president, and not a representative from TESCON, from each recognized tertiary institution at the regional and national delegates conference.
Chairman, the specificity on the TESCON president, and not just any representative of TESCON, avoids the usual challenge with validation of the representative from TESCON. Recommended.
Delegates in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 26. Amend Article, this is a new provision, amend Article 10 of the Constitution by inserting a new provision to include the consideration of position papers from sector committees of the party on key developments since the last National Delegates Conference at any current National Delegates Conference.
Chairman of Conference, the proposed amendment allows the National Delegates Conference to not only focus on speeches and election of national officers where necessary, but to also consider and debate reports submitted by the party's sector committees on key national issues and to pass appropriate resolutions on same. Highly recommended, Chairman.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 27. It is also a new provision. Amend Article 10 of the Constitution by inserting a new provision to modify the composition of the sector committees under the National Executive Committee to include both members of Parliament and non-members of Parliament, as well as their functions.
This allows the party to marshal its available best brains to serve on the various sector committees, whether or not they are members of Parliament. Recommended.
Those in favor, delegates, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 28. Amend Articles 10(2)(3)(e) and 13 of the Constitution to make all members of the National Council of Elders delegates at the National Delegates Conference and the presidential primaries.
Chairman, considering the indispensable roles played by the National Council of Elders, they deserve more representation at the party's highest decision-making body. In any case, per Article 16, the membership of the National Council of Elders shall not exceed 30, out of which 15 are already members or delegates to the National Annual Delegates Conference. Motion number 28 is recommended, Chairman.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 29. Amend Article 10(3) of the Constitution to increase the representation of the National Council of Elders on the National Council from 1 to 5 members, including the chairman of the National Council of Elders.
Chairman, the National Council of Elders is the foremost advisory body of the party and therefore ought to be adequately represented at the second highest decision-making body of the party.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Number 30. Amend Article 10(3) of the Constitution to provide for 4 additional standing committees and enable the National Council to create new standing committees as and when the Council deem fit. The new 4 standing committees shall be the Electoral Affairs Committee, Communications Committee, Political Strategy and Policy Committee, and Security and Intelligence Committee.
The proposed additional standing committees to be created are indispensable and crucial in supporting the National Council and, by extension, the entire party to function more effectively. The amendment also grants the National Council the mandate to create additional standing committees as and when necessary.
Delegates in favor of motion number 30, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 31. Amend Article 10(3)(a) of the Constitution to expand the composition of the Finance Committee from 6 to 10 members, in addition to the National Treasurer.
Chairman, this amendment expands the composition of the Finance Committee in order to enhance the effectiveness of the committee.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 32. Amend Article 10(3)(2)(d) of the Constitution to expressly provide that chairpersons of standing committees and directors at the party headquarters shall have voting rights at the National Council and consequently vote in the presidential primaries.
Chairman, this amendment admits chairmen of standing committees and directors at the party headquarters into membership at the National Council with voting rights.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 33. Amend Article 10(3)(4) of the Constitution to include former majority and former minority leaders to the composition of the National Executive Committee and National Council.
The National Executive
Council.
The National Executive to benefit immensely the experiences of persons who have once led the party's parliamentary group as majority or minority leaders. This motion is recommended, Chairman.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 34 is a new provision. Amend Article 10 of the Constitution by inserting a new provision to provide that the National Executive Committee shall, in consultation with the presidential candidate, develop the campaign structure and establish a campaign advisory committee to oversee the campaign team.
Chairman, this amendment deepens the collaboration between party and presidential candidates. Respectfully submit.
The campaign team.
Chairman, this amendment deepens the collaboration and respectfully submit.
Say. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 35 is also a new provision. Amend Article 10 of the Constitution by inserting a new provision to specifically provide that the national chairperson shall at all times be the leader of the party.
Chairman, the proposed amendment affirms the position of the national chairperson as the leader of the party at all material times. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 36. Amend Article 10(5) of the Constitution to specifically provide that the national chairperson shall chair the party's campaign advisory committee.
The national chairperson, as the leader of the party, should chair the party's campaign advisory committee to enhance collaborative work between the party and the campaign.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Against, say nay. The ayes have it. Number 37. Amend Article 10(4)(2) of the Constitution to increase the representation of the parliamentary group on the National Executive Committee from 1 to 3, comprising the leader and 2 others, one of whom shall be a woman.
My chairman, the parliamentary group is a critical organ of the party. It is the group that champions the party's policies and agenda in the legislative arm. The amendment seeks to increase the representation of the parliamentary group on the National Executive Committee. This is strongly recommended, Mr. Chairman.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. The ayes have it. 38. Amend Articles 10(7)(3) and 10(8) of the Constitution to provide that the National Treasurer shall report to the General Secretary.
Chairman, it is the view that the General Secretary, as the party's Chief Administrative Officer and the Chief Executive Officer of the party, who has superintendence over all officers except the national chairperson and vice chairpersons, should exercise superintendence over the national treasurer. The amendment aligns with the administrative structure of the party.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 39. Amend Article 10(10) of the Constitution to remove the President from the composition of the National Steering Committee of the National Executive Committee.
The steering committee of the party is in charge of the day-to-day administration of the party and should comprise only the 10 elected officers, the presidential candidate, the parliamentary leader, and the chairman of the National Council of Elders.
Delegates in favor of motion number 39, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Motion number 40, amend Article 11 of the Constitution to specifically include a provision that allows the Constituency Executive Committee to remove a polling station or electoral officer from office with the prior approval of the Regional Executive Committee upon receipt of a petition from a member.
Chairman, the current Constitution has no provision on how polling station and electoral area officers may be removed from office. This new provision clarifies this. Respectfully submitted.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 41. Amend Article 11 of the Constitution to include a provision requiring the need for the body to be constituted by the Executive Committee to recommend removal before the summoning of an extraordinary delegates conference for the purpose of removing an elected officer from office and for specific timelines for the removal process of such elected officer.
Chairman, this amendment brings clarity in the removal of officers and avoids the convening of an extraordinary delegates conference without recommendation from the body constituted by the Executive Committee.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 42. Amend Article 11(7) of the Constitution to explicitly provide guidelines and procedure for the removal from office of an appointed officer or executive to be done by the relevant executive committee with prior approval of the immediately higher executive committee.
This amendment, Chairman, clarifies the process for removal of appointed officers. Submitted.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 43. That's a new provision. Amend the Constitution by inserting a new provision to provide that national officers, ministers, deputy ministers, CEOs, and other government appointees who file to contest to become a parliamentary candidate of the party in a constituency with a sitting member of parliament shall resign their positions at least 12 calendar months to the national general elections.
Chairman, this is to ensure fair competition and a level playing field to all prospective aspirants for the position of parliamentary candidate. Recommended.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 44 is a new provision. Amend Articles 12 and 13 of the Constitution and insert a new provision to grant voting rights to former members of Parliament, former parliamentary candidates, former metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, former ministers, former deputy ministers who are card-bearing members of the party at the parliamentary and presidential primaries.
The amendment seeks to expand the Electoral College for the presidential primaries to promote inclusivity and broader participation, and is in line with the proposed limited expansion.
Delegates in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 45 is a new provision. Amend Articles 12 and 13 of the Constitution and insert a new provision to grant voting rights to former constituency executives and former regional executives at the parliamentary and presidential primaries.
The amendment seeks to expand the Electoral College for the presidential primaries to promote inclusivity and broader participation, and is in line with the proposed limited expansion.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 46. Amend Article 13(1)(6) of the Constitution to provide that national officers, ministers, deputy ministers, CEOs, and other government appointees who fail to become the presidential candidate of the party shall resign their positions at least 24 months to the national general elections.
This amendment, Chairman, is to ensure fair competition and a level playing field to all prospective aspirants for the flag bearership slot.
Delegates in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 47. Amend Article 13(1)(9) of the Constitution to completely abolish and do away with the special electoral college and super delegates system.
Chairman, the special electoral college system, which was introduced in the 2009 constitutional amendment to shortlist aspiring presidential candidates, is believed to have outlived its usefulness. This is recommended, Chairman.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 48. Amend Article 13(4) of the Constitution to provide for the election of a presidential candidate when the party is in government to a date not later than 18 months instead of 11 months before the national general elections.
Chairman, this amendment, if approved, will give the party's presidential candidate an extra 7 months to campaign before the general elections. Submitted.
Delegates in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. 49. Amend Article 13(11) to grant voting rights to 5 members of the Constituency Council of Elders and 10 members of the Regional Council of Elders at the presidential primaries.
These constituency and regional elders are members of the constituency and regional delegates conference respectively. Polling station and electoral area executives who form part of the delegates to the constituency conference have been given voting rights at the presidential primaries. The exclusion of the elders is an omission which should be rectified. Respectfully submitted.
Motion number 50. Amend Article 13(11) of the Constitution to include 30 national patrons and all members of the National Council of Elders to be part of the presidential primaries.
The National Council of Elders is the foremost advisory body of the party and therefore ought to be adequately represented at the second highest decision-making body of the party. The national patrons also occupy an important position in the party structure. The expansion of their members in the presidential primaries is therefore appropriate. Respectfully recommended.
Those in favor say aye. Those against, say nay. 51. Amend Article 1311 to grant voting rights to 5 constituency patrons and 10 regional patrons at the presidential primaries.
These constituency and regional patrons are members of the Constituency and Regional Delegates Conference, respectively. Polling station and electoral area executives who form part of the delegates to the Constituency Conference have been given voting rights at the presidential primaries. The exclusion of the patrons is an omission which should be rectified.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 52. Amend Article 1311 to grant voting rights to 1 TESCOM patron from every recognized tertiary institution in the presidential primaries.
52, right? 52. Chairman, this amendment allows for inclusivity and broader participation. This is in line with the proposed limited expansion.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 53. Amend Article 15(3) of the Constitution to make all female delegates at the National Delegates Conference eligible to vote for the position of National Women Organizer.
Chairman, the current regulations on the election of the National Women Organizer is not inclusive. This amendment, if approved by conference, will allow all female delegates, I repeat, all female delegates, to participate in the election of the National Women's Organizer. Recommended, Chairman.
Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. 54. 54. Delegates, delegates, delegates. Delegates, delegates, delegates. Permit me to read Hello, Mama Kromiyadin. Kromiyadin. 54. Amend Article 15(4) of the Constitution by defining youth in the Constitution to refer to a member of the party who is not above the age of 35 years.
My Chairman, the age limit for youth per all the international conventions and national laws shows that the highest age limit is 35. The UN puts the age bracket between 15 and 24 years, the WHO between 15 and 29, UNICEF between 15 and 24, the ILO between 15 and 24, the African Youth Charter between 15 and 35. In Ghana, the National Youth Authority Act, Act 939, defines a youth as a person between 15 and 35. My Chairman, views on this motion are very divided. Distinguished delegates of conference,
Those in favor of motion number 54, say aye. Those against, say no. I will take this vote again. I am going to take this vote again. I am taking this vote again. Delegates in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. Nay! 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 Conference. The nays have it. Meaning we revert to the status quo, which puts the birthing age of youth at not above the age of 40 years. 55. Amend Article 15(4) of the Constitution to make youth delegates at the National Delegates Conference eligible to vote for the position of National Youth Organizer.
Chairman, the current regulations of the election of the National Youth Organizer is not inclusive. This amendment allows all youth delegates, I repeat, all youth delegates, to participate in the election of the National Youth Organizer. Submitted, Chairman.
Those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. Well, the ayes once again have it. Certainly, this is the last motion. 56. Amend Article 15(5)(d)(e) and related provisions that refer to national coordinator at all relevant levels. To refer to the national coordinators as coordinators as NASARA organizers.
Chairman, by the nature of their functions, NASARA coordinators should be referred to as NASARA organizers, just as is done with women and youth organizers.
Presiding Conference Chairman, General Secretary of this great party, before I draw down the curtain on this National Annual Delegates Conference, I'll read.
We didn't vote on this one.
Sorry. Those in favor of motion number 56, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. I will now, for the benefit of conference, read the sunset clause, which is ordinarily referred to as the transitional provisions. And this has been drawn by the Constitution Amendment Committee in line with the existing practice. Whereas the National Council of the party as pursuant to Article 13(1) of the Constitution, scheduled January 21, 2026, as the date to elect the party's 2028 presidential candidate. The National Annual Delegates Conference has on this day, the 19th day of July 2028, adopted the proposed amendment 2025, adopted the proposed amendment to expand the Electoral College for the election of the party's presidential candidate to include all former members of parliament, all former parliamentary candidates, all former MMDCs, all card-bearing former ministers, all card-bearing former deputy ministers, all former regional executives, all former constituency executives, all former branch executives, all the members of the National Council of Elders, the members of the National Council of Patrons, regional and constituency patrons, regional and constituency elders, and TESCON coordinators. The National Annual Delegates Conference has on this day adopted a proposed amendment to expunge the Special Delegates Electoral College from the Constitution. The term of office holders in the party from polling station to the national level has not expired. I repeat, has not expired. Accordingly, the prospective members who are to be afforded the right to form part of the structured offices at various levels by elections shall have their rights held in abeyance until upon the expiration of the tenure of the incumbent office holders. Now, therefore, it is proposed that for the avoidance of doubt, the effective dates for the new amendments relating to the additions to the polling station executives, electoral area executive committee, constituency executive committee, regional executive committee, and executive committee shall be after the January 31, 2026 presidential primaries. However, as adopted by the National Delegates Conference on this fateful day, and given the fact that the dates of the conduct of the presidential primaries have been set by the Constitution in accordance with the dictates of the Constitution, the provisions pursuant to the new amendments on presidential primaries, that is Article 13, particularly the expunging of the Special Electoral College and the expansion of the Electoral College for the presidential primaries to include former executives, former regional executives, former external branch executives, former members of parliament, former parliamentary candidates, former MMDCs, former card-bearing ministers and deputies, TESCON coordinators, party patrons and elders, shall take effect immediately. Shall take effect immediately in order to give effect to the decision of the National Council and the National Delegates Conference in respect of the presidential primaries. This motion, which only seeks to bring clarity on the effect of the adoption of these amendments by conference on this day, is hereby moved for the consideration of conference. At this stage, distinguished delegates, those in favor and all in favor of this motion, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. It is my desirable pleasure at this stage to say to conference that our duties as the Constitution Amendment Committee in respect of today's conference has come to a close. Nonetheless, it is instructive to notify all delegates that the preparatory work for the drafting of the new constitution or amended constitution pursuant to the adoption of these elaborate constitutional amendments would begin in due course. We thank you all for the support and cooperation afforded us. God bless all our distinguished delegates. God bless the great NPP party, and God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. And we shall always be bold to defend and resist the oppressor's rule. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, yes. Party we shall win to save Ghana. Thank you very much for your participation. It's been very successful. The Deputy Minority Chief Whip will be here to give us the vote of thanks. Honorable Jerry Ahmed, side. Honorable Jerry Ahmed, give us the vote of thanks. Then our third national vice chairman will give us the Muslim closing prayer.
The Honorable Acting National Chairman, distinguished representatives of the former presidents, the former vice president, national executive members, national council members, my respected minority leader, honorable members of parliament, the Constitution Amendment Committee, the Planning Committee, our hard-working delegates, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinct honor and a privilege to offer the vote of thanks at this landmark gathering of our great party, the New Patriotic Party. On behalf of the organizing team and the entire party leadership, I wish to express our deepest gratitude to all of you for your presence, commitment, and continued dedication to the ideals and progress of the NPP. Let me begin by sincerely thanking the representatives of our former presidents, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency John Agyekum Kufuor, for conveying their messages and solidarity with this conference. Their legacy continues to shape our vision, and we remain grateful for their enduring service to party and country. To our hard-working national executives, we commend your leadership and tireless efforts in steering the affairs of the party with vision and unity. A special appreciation goes to Greater Accra Regional Chairman, Chairman Divine Otu Agohom. We thank you very much for the warm welcome and the excellent coordination of this conference. Permit me to also extend a special commendation to the Constitution Amendment Committee and the National Planning Committee for their exemplary dedication and impactful work. Your contributions have been very good, and we are extremely grateful. We are also thankful to our invited guests, fraternal parties, and all stakeholders whose presence has added great value to this conference. To our gallant members of Parliament, regional and constituency executives, polling station executives, TESCON, and the Youth and Women's Wing, your energy, loyalty, and commitment are the heartbeat of our party. Thank you for your service. Let me also acknowledge the protocol, security, media, health, and logistical teams who have worked diligently behind the scenes to make this event seamless and successful. As we leave here, may we be reminded that the strength of our party lies in our unity, our resolve, and our shared purpose to build a better Ghana for all. Once again, thank you all for making today a memorable success. May God bless the new patriotic party. May God bless our great nation, Ghana. Thank you all, and have a safe journey back home. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, our acting National Chairman, the former Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, the Chief of Staff, the former Chief of Staff, the General Secretary. May peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of us here, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. We thank Almighty Allah for bringing our delegates from the various regions to the greater Accra here to participate with this historical event, which is our National Delegate Conference. We are thanking the Almighty Allah for bringing them in peace, and we ask God, Almighty Allah, to send each and everyone here to his or her constituency safely, and inshallah we will get that. In this case, ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم ثبتنا على الإيمان وثبتنا على المسلم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. إن الله والملائكة يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وآخر الدعوان أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you, Al-Hajj Masaudu. We are grateful to all of you. We pray that the good Lord will take you to your various regions and to your various constituencies. It's been a very, very fruitful conference, incident-free, and that is what we expected it to be. Thank you very much once again.
And after hours of waiting, the New Patriotic Party, through its National Delegates Conference, has passed 64 motions out of 66. We'll take you through all you need to know about what happened today during that conference. This is our final pack for our coverage for the NPP's Delegates Conference. I am Vivian Kai Loko. I will be steering the ship from now till we wrap up from the University of Ghana's stadium and here in the studio at Channel 1, as well as City 97.3 FM. We'll go back to the field where my colleagues will give us a wrap-up from the venue proper, after which we return to the studio and bring you the analysis around today's development. Umar Sanda, if you can hear me, take it from here.
To consolidate the about 300 proposals and engage various stakeholders and be able to bring them to a certain number. You can get about 20 proposals on one matter. You have to consult and see how to convert those 20 proposals into one motion. So the 56 you see is an amalgamation of the over 300 proposals and trying to simplify it in a manner that makes easy decision making.
There are some of these proposals that the how differed from proposal to proposal. What were the considerations in taking a point?
So for example, when it comes to expanding the polling station, some say make it 5, some say make it 10, some say make it 15. You have over 30 or 40 proposals on that particular matter. You do a number of focus group discussions. You meet some of the proposers. And then at the end of all of that, the committee, the Frank Davis committee, came to a view that this appears to be the middle line. It is that middle line that is converted into a motion. So you don't want...
It's almost 4:30 p.m. and as the New Patriotic Party promised, it has finished its delegates conference.